Welcome back to the Being Single podcast. Today's topic, developing and living out compassion as a single Christian. Compassion is a core aspect of the Christian life, and as a single Christian, you have a unique opportunity to live out this calling in a profound way. Compassion isn't just about feeling for others, it's about acting with love, kindness, and mercy. It's about actively caring for others, reaching out to them in their moments of need, and walking alongside them in their pain and struggles. We'll start with being compassionate with yourself. Before you can offer compassion to others, you need to practice it with yourself. It's easy to be compassionate toward others, but we often forget to extend that same grace to ourselves. God calls you to love your neighbor as yourself, Mark 12, verse 31, which means offering yourself compassion as well. If you're struggling with loneliness or insecurity, show yourself the same kindness you would show a friend. Treat yourself with the same gentleness and understanding. God's love is not conditional, and He calls you to rest in His compassion toward you. It's easy to be your harshest critic, especially when you're on your own and don't have a partner to share the load with. But compassion means acknowledging your struggles and imperfections without judgment. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a friend. Compassion for others starts with compassion for yourself. You cannot pour out love and care for others if your own well is empty. Jesus frequently withdrew to pray and rest. Mark 1, verse 35. Take time to care for your emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. This doesn't mean being selfish. It means recognizing that you need to be healthy and filled with God's love in order to share that love with others. Don't neglect your own heart, especially as you try to give compassion to others. Understand compassion as Christ-like love. The ultimate model of compassion is Jesus Christ. Throughout His life, Jesus demonstrated deep compassion for the lost, the broken, and the hurting. In Matthew 9, verse 36, it says, "When He saw the crowds, He had compassion on them, because they were harassed and helpless, like sheep without a shepherd." Jesus didn't just notice the struggles of others, He was moved to act. Compassion in your life should look like that, a heart that is sensitive to others' needs and a willingness to do something about it. Jesus didn't just notice people's struggles, He felt deeply for them and acted. As a follower of Christ, you're called to embody that same heart of compassion. It's about feeling for others and allowing that feeling to drive you to action. Empathy is key. Feel what others feel. Compassion begins with empathy, truly trying to understand what another person is going through. In Romans 12, verse 15, Paul writes, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn." When someone is struggling, compassion calls you to enter into their pain and share their burden. It's not about just offering advice or trying to fix things, but about feeling with them, allowing their pain to move you and responding in kindness. Empathize with others' pain. When someone is hurting, don't just acknowledge their pain from a distance, enter into it with them. This could mean listening without judgment, offering support, or simply being present in their time of need. It's about recognizing their humanity and valuing them with the heart of Christ. People often need someone to be a witness to their experiences, not someone with all the answers. You don't need to fix anyone's problems. Just show that you care by giving them space to share. Empathy as a bridge for meaningful connections. You might be single, but empathy will help you form deeper bonds with people. Friends, family, potential partners, or even casual acquaintances. Understanding their feelings and viewpoints without judgment makes for more authentic relationships. This will help you stand out in a world where surface-level interactions often dominate. For example, when you're having conversations, try to listen not just to respond, but to understand. Acknowledge emotions, validate experiences, and ask questions that show you genuinely care. Empathy for future relationships. Whether you're hoping to meet someone special or not, practicing empathy will deepen your understanding of others' needs and challenges. In a relationship, empathy is essential for mutual respect and love. It helps you to relate to a partner's world without assuming you already know how they feel. Relationships thrive when both people feel heard, validated, and supported. As a single Christian, you can practice this empathy with friends, family, or even strangers, which will only prepare you for when the right relationship comes along. Empathy can help you understand what you truly want in a relationship. By empathizing with past experiences, what worked, what didn't, and why, you can reflect on your needs in future partnerships. This self-awareness can guide you towards healthier, more fulfilling connections. Challenge your comfort zone, act on your compassion. Compassion isn't passive. In Matthew 14, verse 14, when Jesus saw a crowd, he didn't just feel pity for them, he healed their sick. Compassion moves you to action. This can mean offering a listening ear to a friend, helping someone in need, or providing emotional or financial support to someone going through a tough time. 1 John 3:18 says, "Let us not love with words or speech, but with actions and in truth." Compassion without action is incomplete. Look for ways to show tangible care and love. Compassion is expressed most clearly through service. When someone is in need, whether emotionally, physically, or spiritually, you can demonstrate compassion through actions. Galatians 2, verse 2 says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." This could mean offering a helping hand when someone is struggling with a project, being there to listen when a friend needs to talk, or volunteering your time to serve others in your community. Your actions can show that you care far more than just words ever could. Extend compassion to those who are different. True compassion often requires stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's easy to be compassionate to those who are similar to us or those we already know. But Jesus calls us to love even those who are hard to love, the outcast, the sinner, the lonely. In the parable of the Good Samaritan, Luke 10, verses 25 to 37, Jesus teaches us to go beyond our comfort zone and show kindness to those who are different from us. Your compassion can reach beyond the familiar to the marginalized, the broken, and those who don't expect help. Compassion isn't reserved for those who are like you or those you already know. Show kindness to everyone, including those who might be different from us or even those who don't return our kindness. You may encounter a variety of people. Some might have different backgrounds, beliefs, or life experiences. Compassion allows you to look beyond differences and see their value as created in the image of God. Extend compassion to those who don't deserve it. Christ's love and compassion were not based on merit. He extended his grace to those who didn't deserve it, like the sinful woman who washed his feet with her tears. Luke 7, verses 36 to 50. As a Christian woman, you're called to do the same. This might look like offering forgiveness to someone who's hurt you, or extending a kind word to someone who's been unkind. Compassion often requires humility and the ability to see beyond others' flaws to their need for God's grace. Forgiveness is at the heart of compassion. Whether it's forgiving someone else or yourself, it's essential to release the hold of resentment and bitterness. Holding on to grudges create walls between you and others. True compassion means choosing understanding over judgment and releasing the past so you can move forward in peace. Be compassionate in your relationships. Whether with friends, family, or future romantic partners, compassion is key to maintaining healthy and Christ-centered relationships. Romans 15, verses 1 and 2 says, "We who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. Each of us should please our neighbors for their good, to build them up." In your relationships, practice patience, understanding, and a willingness to support others through their struggles. Recognize that we all have weaknesses, and offering compassion helps build stronger, more loving relationships. Be patient with people. Sometimes compassion requires great patience. People don't always open up immediately, and they don't always respond the way you expect them to. In 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4, it says, "Love is patient, love is kind." Showing compassion often means being patient with someone as they walk through a process, whether that's healing from a wound, growing in their faith, or working through a difficult season. Don't rush or pressure people to heal on your timeline. Offer your presence and your care, and let God work in their hearts in His timing. Recognize the need for compassion in everyday life. You don't have to be a social worker or a counselor to practice compassion. It's in the small, everyday moments. It might be holding the door open for someone, giving a smile to a stranger, or offering a word of encouragement when you notice someone is down. It's also in the way you treat those you encounter regularly, whether the shopkeeper, the cashier at the grocery store, or your family members. Your actions reflect Christ's love, even in the smallest moments. Humility is at the core of compassion. When you show compassion, you acknowledge that others may be going through something you can't fully understand, and you recognize that you don't have all the answers. Philippians 2, verses 3 and 4 says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves, not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others." Compassionate Christians put others first, value their needs, and are humble enough to serve others without expecting anything in return. Create a compassionate community. Even as a single person, you can build a community of like-minded individuals who value compassion. Seek out friends in spaces where kindness and empathy are prioritized, whether it's in a local group, a spiritual community, or through online connections. Nurturing these relationships will keep you grounded in a compassionate mindset.
Small acts of kindness matter. You don't have to do grand gestures to show compassion. Small acts, whether it's holding the door for someone, sending a text to check in, or simply being there when someone needs to talk, have a ripple effect. You never know how much one small gesture can brighten someone's day. Pray for a compassionate heart. Compassion comes from God, and we should pray for Him to shape our hearts to be more like His. In Colossians 3, verse 12, Paul says, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience." Ask God to give you a heart that breaks for what breaks His. Pray for the ability to see others as He sees them, and for the strength to show compassion even when it's difficult. Be mindful of your time and energy. Compassion can be draining, especially if you're constantly giving without taking care of yourself. As previously said, Jesus often withdrew to pray and spend time with His Father. Similarly, it's important for you to find balance. Be aware of when you need rest, when to set healthy boundaries, and when to seek support from others. Practicing self-care doesn't mean you aren't compassionate. It means you are giving yourself the strength and resources to continue showing love to others. Don't forget to set boundaries. Compassion doesn't mean being a doormat. Setting healthy boundaries is just as important as showing kindness. It's okay to say no when you need to, and it's okay to prioritize your own needs while still being kind to others. True compassion involves protecting your energy while offering your support to others. Cultivate a lifestyle of service. Compassion often manifests through a servant's heart. Jesus modeled servant leadership by washing His disciples' feet. John 13, verses 1 to 17. As a single woman, this might look like serving in your church community, volunteering for causes that align with your values, or being there for people in your life who need help. A lifestyle of service is a tangible way to express compassion, and it also helps you grow in your understanding of the heart of Christ. Embrace the compassion of Christ toward you. Finally, remember that you are the recipient of the greatest compassion, the compassion of Christ who laid down His life for you. The more you internalize God's compassion toward you, the more you'll be able to offer it to others. 2 Corinthians 1, verses 3 and 4 says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion, and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God." As you experience God's compassion, you're equipped to extend that same compassion to those around you. Don't be afraid of vulnerability. Compassion often requires vulnerability, letting others see your heart, letting them know you care enough to be present with them in their difficult moments. This doesn't mean you have to fix everything or have all the answers, but it means being willing to sit with someone in their sorrow or joy. Jesus was vulnerable in His relationships with people. He wept at Lazarus' tomb. He cared for the lepers and the sick, and He even shared His heart with His disciples. When you let your guard down to show others that you care, it fosters deeper, more authentic relationships. Listen more than you speak. Sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is listen. Proverbs 18:13 says, to answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Listening attentively without judgment or interruption shows that you value the person and their feelings. Often people don't need advice right away. They simply need someone to listen. Listening deeply opens the door for greater empathy and allows you to respond in a way that truly meets their needs. Develop a heart of mercy. Compassion is deeply connected to mercy. Mercy is showing kindness and forgiveness even when it's undeserved. Jesus was constantly showing mercy to those who needed it the most. In Luke 6, verse 36, Jesus says, "Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful." When you show mercy, it's not about excusing wrongs, but about offering forgiveness and grace in situations where others might expect judgment or rejection. Mercy softens your heart and makes you more approachable and compassionate toward others. Develop a compassionate prayer life. Praying for others is one of the most powerful ways to show compassion. When you pray for someone, you are interceding on their behalf, taking their burdens to the Lord and inviting God's mercy and love into their situation. Colossians 4, verse 2 encourages us to devote ourselves to prayer, being watchful and thankful. Let your compassion extend into your prayer life. Pray for the needs of others, for their healing, their growth, and their strength. Make compassion a lifestyle, not just a response. While compassion can be an immediate response to someone in need, it should also be part of your lifestyle. Jesus didn't just show compassion in isolated moments, it was his nature. As a Christian man, cultivating a lifestyle of compassion means seeking opportunities to show kindness every day, whether that's helping someone with groceries, encouraging a friend, or volunteering for a cause you care about. Make compassion a daily choice. Compassion is more than just an emotion. It's an action that reflects the heart of Christ. As a single Christian man, your call is to model Christ's love by being compassionate in your relationships, your service, and even in the way you interact with strangers. Compassion is a gift, but it's also a responsibility to actively care for those around you, to lift them up and to serve them in their time of need. When you allow God to shape your heart with his compassion, you become a powerful force for his kingdom, one that reflects his love and grace to a hurting world. Compassion is one of the most Christ-like qualities you can cultivate. You have a unique opportunity to extend compassion in your everyday interactions, and that can make a profound difference in the lives of others. When you live with compassion, you reflect the love of Christ, and that's one of the most powerful testimonies you can offer to the world. Let your heart be soft, your hands open, and your life a reflection of his mercy and grace. It's important to step into someone else's shoes. Try to understand their struggles, joys, and perspectives. Whether it's a friend, a stranger, or even someone you disagree with, seeing things from their perspective can change the way you respond and help you approach them with more understanding and less judgment. Being single gives you the freedom to focus on developing these qualities without the pressure of a relationship. It also means you have the opportunity to spread compassion in many different ways. If you practice and develop these principles now, you'll not only feel more connected to others, but also to the world around you. Check out our other videos. If you like this podcast, please comment, like, share, and subscribe for future content.